Yes, greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. Mwamba sasa amenegea Yehuda say you make Zabia because negesa Ethiopia. Kadamawi Isle Selassie the first. I give thanks and praise. Yes, Fireball. Right now, yeah, me really caught a song about the invasion of Maroon town. Yeah. Because that even so close to, the Nzinga King cutting off of the locks of Rastafari young girl. For example, Maroon Town, the politicians them talk out madness, and we prove it over and over. You're never aware of any Maroon Town land when possession is 9/10 of the law, and as long as that politician was born, him no one heard about the Maroon land. So we don't know where them come from with them talk. As you have to understand, say politicians them always come with the talking to get people in mind. When time you have to use both sides of your brain and analyze what them must say. So cause some of them are gonna talk about talk and then we feel listen. So I'm about a serious fire, right? Because if we look into it now, Maroons, and I is a descendant from the Maroon as well. And I is a Rastafari, and our identity is Africa, So when you look at the thing, we all know the history of the Maroons, and the part of it we're well proud of is the defeating of the Red Coats, as they call, which is the British soldier them. So, we always look upon that victory as, our, one of our proud victories like this, been victory in Haiti, when the Zulu, Ashanti, we have had, few victories that we look upon, here the Kimpavita and all the ancestors, Nyabingi, I come to slew the oppressor. Because anytime there's injustice and inequality, I have to fight, the peace and the humbleness of Rastafari maintain, or the levity, not humbleness, more levity, is to, defend, the good things, defend the elders, the children, the shelterless, what I'm saying? And the injustice that's been done against Africans is one of the worst holocausts ever upon the face of the earth. Now, if we go on a serious fire now, the Maroon them have a right to defend their land. And we have a right to self-determination as far as when you look at UN charters like the 1514 resolution, which, which relate to colonized people, So after colonization, I is seen that I must self-determine I self. A Maroon town and the Maroons is a good, perfect example of how I must declare I standing upon the land and declare I self more or less free from them. Free from, you're not supposed to come to my house and tell me what time to play music and express my culture. Whether we are the ceremonies or, celebrations of life and these things, it's their business. Sister went and then cut down the music in Jamaica, say I'm being madness. The culture, the music, so much different type of music create in Jamaica and by Jamaicans. So much is heritage now, heritage and indigenous rights. So, for example, Maroon have heritage, which give Jamaica, a wealth of culture, and Rastafari also have our culture, and in that culture there, the others who people around the world see and admire, because we always admire strength, like we look to Ethiopia, for strength. When Marcus Garvey said, and most honorable, Marcus Garvey said, look to the east, and enough of our great scholars they get strength from looking to Ethiopia, or Ethiopia, you know, as a land never been colonized, you know, other than the invasion by Italy and Mussolini. So, what I say now, when you look on the levels now, politician, them are still a trick. And right in the middle of COVID, yeah, and them thing that them restrict and I come with more plans and I vaccinate, you know, where, you know, many people like say the Maroons obviously would disagree. So you can't, you know, we can't think of some of these things more or less even related. Because, you know, they know say these are one set of people who probably will make their own decision on the vaccine and the masking. So they want to come in. Plus they want to come in already. There's interest groups who want to mind backside, how them always trick Jamaica. And remember the backside thing is a trick in its whole self. You know, when we little and I go to school at Jamaica, we get taken to the backside plant, you know, up a Alpat and Alcan and them place there, where them mine the dirt, what we think a dirt. And when you look around now and them say, yeah, this is a place you could work in and get a job, you know. And as I must admit, as a youth, it looked fascinating. But the only thing that click out in my mind is this. It said that this backside will run out in about 50 years. So when you think about that now, then that's not a secure job. So I know that as a youth. And then I wonder, you know, when them dig out the earth, what all gonna happen? But when now you grow up and see where these politicians them talk, and them say, oh, when they restore the land, we'll build housing for the, you know, underprivileged, and we'll provide irrigation to it and these things. But that's what them say. Because them know say when this run out, them out of office long time and the next generation come pick up the problem. And at this we will watch as well, we care Marcus Garvey say we must make, right, our you know, our failure to act, make it fall upon the next generation. If we really love our youth and we really love our children, then we will defend ourselves. You know, look. Give thanks to the Holy Sacrament, Rastafari. Yeah, Rastafari, Maroons are one people. And this is now drive forward to the key. Yeah, it's about organize, centralize. And this is BaRaKa, aka Blessed BaRaKa. And when me tell us that I working for unity for close to 20 years, deep in the Rastafari liberty. And we build lines then from organize and centralize warriors them around the world. You know, start all in England and Jamaica, you know, Ghana, Gambia, you see, Ethiopia, you know, we try to build the links them strong, try to organize Rastafari from a little youth, you know, and, you know, one of the zealous ones. And also because we see that identity is important, or else can't divide for rule. So we summarize everything in our knowledge to organize, centralize, solution. And what that look like as someone, you know, who experiencing working in trying to organize Rastafari, you know, and more or less working in a leadership position in Rastafari, and, you know, providing education in Rastafari, like we used to do the Rastafari studies, you know, and it's coming forward again, even to the apps, and, you know, we could go forward to even, you know, what going on right now is wrong, right? It's wrong where I go on in Jamaica. It's wrong for the government, for anyone for okay any wrongs to, you know, any violation or crossing Maroon border. Look, this is how you can handle the situation. One of the best ways Jamaica has handled the situation like this is like this. Remember one time Jamaica hired after the Coral Gardens incident, and the Coral Gardens incident relate to this girl getting trimmed because he used to get Rasta and trim them. And now I and I personally are dep on it where we say this is gonna be the last Rastafari ever get trimmed at Jamaica. Nzinga King, you know, feel it for her, empathize. You can see Rastafari really feel. Cause if a boy, you know, the man would think like, it's like if someone this your mom or your dad or someone close to your children, it's like a sacred acts if you think about even someone cutting you, assaulting you, cutting off your locks, assault, you know, misconduct, you know, you know, it infuriates you, make you angry. Rastafari know what I mean. Someone will cut your locks, someone cut your locks by force. It will be a war. Yeah, put it straight. Yeah, and under no circumstances should any public officers, you know, condone anything like that. I still don't know why they not deal with the issue of that woman yet. I don't know why them now the Jamaica now put her as an example. Because right now being a chant on her, you know, all I and them know say, and she will confess, you know, and she will try something. I don't think it'll go work. Yeah, but if you try something. And there is police out there who know and respect Rastafari. Continue to do it. Yeah. And now, if you look at Maroon town, they have a right to defend themselves, definitely. And forget about the little investigation with the chief. And every man should have one of those. Because once you deal with nationhood and have your nation, you must defend the nation. Like, for example, if someone went into, try to invade England or America or China right now, they would suddenly draw out their weapons and defend themselves. So, definitely, the chief, the head of the nation, is acting in the right way. And his soldiers should also come to the aid to defend Maroon town continuously. And likewise, all the descendants of Maroons and things should be willing to give us strength. And I would love to see more organization, you know, link me. I mean, everyone we deal with in, and whoever else in, it's time to do it now. Let's take the pitch. You know, it's sometimes we have to check it, you know. Yeah. So we become reactionary people, yeah? Like, react true what the ancestors them speak, yeah? We become reactionary people. Only when things happen, we react. And I understand that. I mean, like that, too. You know, like if someone drive an arm your youth, you might have cool and I got you. Someone drive an arm your family or something, you will rise up. But if we still try to go beyond, you know, where, you know, rat in a cage kind of thing, how they can experiment and just prick we and make we react. Yeah, we have to kind of like be warriors, especially some of us, even not all of us. So maybe this, you know, affect those who really want to get into the solution and watch everything while going from Nzinga King to the raiding of Maroon town, COVID and the vaccine and how they treat Jamaicans and still bringing tourists. And it's like, you know, the whole white supremacy, yeah, whole thing come in. I remember Marcus Garvey, remember look how athletes them in Jamaica do well. Jamaica run things and figure out things quick, create music so we have wealth. And look how them exploit herbs. These are other things on the list and we have to watch how Jamaica reach the top of the stock exchange. And don't forget that a good documentary will end up on Jamaica with this, the life and death as well, which does highlight some of the things them where how them change. But Jamaicans are smart in some ways and can figure out some things, and as well as we dumb in some ways because we never figure out that when we go all part and all can these backside places, they deliberately hide the processes and any machinery that does the processing of this backside away from the normal Jamaican or any. Because maybe see one of politicians that talk like say they have bauxite aluminum making plants in Jamaica, which is untrue. So I don't know what I'm talking about. See, people just talk. So I have to listen to all of these many videos, them will come up on YouTube and thingy with both sides of your brain. It's just like propaganda, how them use that propaganda for Nzinga King. So them say now, they did a try to say, because of propaganda tool, and it's excellent why the father deal with propaganda too and talk. You know, that's why Rasta have to talk up. Somehow we like it. That's like I and I would rather even stay away from the camera. But we have to talk. That's why you get people like Foot Hype even that say things like, you know, where the rest of them there. Because, you know, people look for internet mostly nowadays than even them go out. So if you don't find, if you don't see them on the internet, then you probably believe said very Rasta not there. You know. And there is Rasta. You know, I see them regular. We go in a bingy, you know. Maybe Foot Hype never go a certain bingy. It's someone that got there for years and so woman. Where cook the food, get it ready, live the liberty, you know. And so there's a whole deep education there, so which, as me said, part of Rastafari is to educate the ignorant anyway. So that, you know, now I mean the order is that you know, with debt to the oppressor, debt to the white oppressor, debt to them. Yeah, right? Straight fire, lava. Yeah. Give thanks unto the Most High, soul of sacrament. Yeah. And so we look upon it now, I summarize up and we see, you know, it's a great assault on Nzinga King, and there have to be justice. Justice and precedence. Precedence at one time. Things like that, that always remember that, so it never happen again. I have to bring forward the memory of Coral Garden, because the two of them interlink. Now, we was talking about some more solutions. Remember one time, the study, you know, Jamaica after the Coral Garden incident, you know, Prime Minister asked a UWI scholar, you know, to do, you know, research on Rastafari, bring it to him. And when that research was partaken, you know, the scholar mentioned to the government some recommendations, right? That these peaceful people should leave them alone, this and that, and you should send them to Africa. Hence why there's 2 Back to Africa movements, you know, paid for by Jamaica government for Rastafari to go to Africa and do our works. That makes sense. So, for example, if you have an issue with Maroon right now in 2021, you get one of your top scholar them, someone, you know, there's Jamaica have brilliant people in the universities and colleges. You know, even some college youth would be happy to jump on it. Very smart. Very smart. So, let them at it. And they will come to you, because you don't know nothing. And police, we know, understand when the boss them come and say, you have to go over there, you don't really want to go. Yeah? Right? But you don't have to go. Right? Because you want to make no money. Right? And the government boy them who always take bribe. Always I gotta send them. So at times one of us say no too, because when time the people and when the government not work for the people, then are treason time. You know, and Jamaican and Haiti and certain land them, certain people blood can't spoil. And ancestral force are gonna rise up no matter where you take it. So it might be a youth, like the big artist when they're Maroon town. Yeah, right now where I want to check out, because me hear the warrior they come like him, there'll be a thing for it. And I represent Lions Den fam, same way, just touching on the place. Alright? And you know, say BaRaKa same way. We're there all the while, repping. So, we give thanks and praise to life. And so me say, if they want to know more about Jamaica culture, if the government want reform, look at reggae music. If you have more artists, them to be ambassadors, diplomats, dealt with properly. You do a study on them and get your report and listen to some recommendation of scholars. Yeah, people who can study kind of objective. as well as so parallel to the culture them in it. So these are the people who have to help you make your decisions for you. Especially when you're dealing with this culture, because now watch this now. Look at the other day when they're going to Pinnacle. The great, sacred Pinnacle, where the honorable ancestor, Leonard, how he lived. Yeah. And, you know, and then they try to go in and them take. Terrible thing. And look, as well, Coral Gardens then just so-called give 10 million for Coral Gardens incident. So, which wasn't enough. It was a joke. Disrespect. Yeah. But watch it. That means you acknowledge you was wrong though. It's the only thing. But that a disrespect that amount. Right? So now this is where you have to turn the page completely, government. Right? Turn the page completely. Top respect for Rastafari. Lead of the culture. As a new African tribe, Africa should respect and accept Rastafari. We own in and out, anytime, freeway travel. Ambassadors and ancients, go and do your thing. Take over Earth. Because we can't lead the Pope to run it. Because him is not a representative from the Most High, the living eye. No. Earthquake. Yeah. And these institutes, even in these countries, even the countries them way, you know, look after blind people and crippled people and give them benefits and their health care free. Them still a trick you. Cause them go on like say, they want you to trust them and everybody where the police need you, you know, you look on the other day, on every night and every day they need you. Like you have America, you have a different strategy. England, you have a different strategy. Look at Australia, how they deal with the backside. The same way, just like Jamaica. You have to get to understand everything fully. As some of our great scholars say, if you don't understand the white supremacy fully, it will literally, you know, will confuse you. Finish your study. Every study take at least 3 years. Master, we are talking about. Don't just everybody. Remember the oral tradition, yeah, people can allow to talk. Watch on and write. And nowadays we how these videos influential upon the YouTube. Now we have to be careful on how to do the video. Them, you know, don't go on like say you fully understand what go on. Or you fully in the liberty with too much loud mouth. Right? When the knowledge have to come straight. I mean, support the then, support Lions then from Global Comes. Cause everything will give I energy to give more. You know, like for the years where we managed Fairfield House, you know, I know some young warriors them like Raspenji, go and do the works. Cause when you're there in the border, Rastafi, Manchol, Nayabing, you Manchol the area. So anytime we pass through, that's why we're there. We're there now where we're there, we're from Manchol where we are dealing with. And link it up with the international. You know. Big up the Church of Haile Selassie. Big up 12 tribe. Big up Ayabingi. Boba Shanti. Real warrior them. EWF. Love. What me say? Jah Rastafari we here. Cause Haile Selassie they are mighty. The more ambassadors here, I get the Yahuda. So you me Xavier and the Gusta gets Ethiopia. Cause the man with Haile Selassie first. They take core ambassador. One true living eye. Within all I and I. Speak it to and through the conscience of the whole entire globe. International statesman. I'm say international field marshal. You know. And Haile Selassie teach I and I to speak boldly against right and wrong. And we know what's wrong. You know, some things are perception, yes. But we know what's wrong. Like Rastafari know that, you know, funny guy, funny woman, you know, rapist, pedophile, wrong. Could never be a Rastafari and endorse kind of liberty. Nuclear bombs, You know, them things are wrong. You know, I listen say I do the great speech where I teach a nation. I wish we lean more upon Haile Selassie, who also remember collective security or individual destruction. Because them come with their plans, and we have to take the model of the Maroons. We have to take the model of the Rastafari. Don't make them trim with identity. Yeah, all with identity, and we self-determined. And everything that we create, can remember after them come with everywhere them come with these emancipation and independence. When they don't know, say a total sham. I mean, more black people in a prison in America work for free, and then them dollars and them things are just free, nothing. The digits are with them head on it, and them trade agreement and have nothing to do with it. A repatriation would be the thing. Our rights, indigenous rights, sovereign, straight up like Maroon town. If you go there, you're there for your time being. All your orders, never let it go. Because look how the tell us the herb is not for I and I. Bad, everything. And now all of the academics, then that's why I say see the academics first before you try to make it laugh. Because the academics, them didn't know the herbs good for you a long time. But nobody now, them now give them no time of day. Academics, they know. Because them are looking at the book, their mind fresh, and just see it. Right? So and when you specialize, you specialize in an area of government, you specialize in a some, or somebody have a skill and a profession, or you have an academic who's trained to do extra research into other areas of the field of how life is and culture relate to social and political and international and public law and domestic law. You know, because obviously domestic law is far behind public law, but public law bigger, international law bigger, like signing a Declaration of Rights bigger than, you know, when, you know, the domestic law. It's just that, you know, people lack competency. So I suggest what we really need as well in the intelligence here for Rastafari, you know. As we had some good intelligence in our beginning of the Global Council. You know, really powerful scholars. Hail up my ancient Bongo Sphere King. Highly high. One of the highest Rastafari of his time. One who helped Bongo Watto to go, to go to the UN and declare Rastafari as a nation in principle that identify and indigenous to Jamaica or identify as African. So anywhere you see Rastafari, you know say that is a nation, straight up in principle, as we set it. And we carry on from the works of the great ancients. You know, we don't come to change the thing, we just come to carry on. So our liberation, we say, you know, and a slow down press, we say, self-determination, we say, repatriation, we say, reparation, we say all of them things like a slow record, straight rhetoric, gone over and over, but in meaning to those who read, you know, because, you know, the Bingy sound chant, whether 7 days, 14, 21, you know, it can burn ceaseless, some warriors, or some warriors are burning ceaseless. Can't stop, load up it, you know, burn all kind of things. That's why it'll go down, and anytime Babylon violate I&I rights, that's when it even worse, because that give I&I the energy for even trample around more. So give thanks to life, Haile Selassie, my teacher, and stuff like that.